Welcome back to the CryptoBot channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is flashing a new signal that we haven't seen since 2019, entering into early 2020. And this is happening at the same time as Bitcoin attempting to break that massive streak of red 9 weeks in a row. And the next weekly candle close is coming up very soon, and I'll be talking more about that in just a moment. Definitely stick around. Starting off on this weekly Bitcoin chart, and obviously, as you can see here, over the past 9 weeks in a row, we've seen constant red in terms of the weekly candles. And interestingly enough, this is a new record for Bitcoin. Previously, Bitcoin has never seen 9 weeks of red in a row until recently. But the next weekly candle close at the time of recording this video is in around 7 hours from now. And at the moment, it's currently sitting in the green, which means we could potentially end this massive streak of red. And to help assist this weekly candle in staying as a green weekly candle, we do have this bullish divergence here on the 2-day Bitcoin chart, as I have been discussing for a while now on the channel. But in case you're new to the channel, a bullish divergence just means we're due to see reduced bearish momentum, which is pretty much exactly what we've seen ever since we formed this bullish divergence a few weeks ago. And something else to keep an eye on is the Bollinger Bands indicator on the daily Bitcoin chart, because right now we're still experiencing a massive squeeze in this indicator, which reveals another massive move is coming sometime soon for Bitcoin. You can think of a squeeze in the Bollinger Bands indicator as kind of like a spring that is coiling up, getting ready to spring out. But in this case, we have the Bitcoin price that is coiling up, getting ready for another massive move, like what we saw back here, for example. Around the end of April, entering into early May, we experienced a massive squeeze in this Bollinger Bands indicator, which showed us that another massive move was coming very soon. And in terms of how soon we could see that volatile move, that obviously depends on what time frame you're looking at. And here on the daily chart, it usually takes around 1 to 2 weeks before we finally experience the volatile move from when we started squeezing in the Bollinger Bands. But in some more rare examples, we can squeeze up towards even around 1 month before then we experienced a massive volatile move. And that's what we saw happen here around the middle of 2020, and then we entered another squeeze in the Bollinger Bands where we saw roughly around 2 weeks worth of squeeze and then another volatile move. And now giving you a quick update on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, taking a look at the shorter term price action. Obviously, nothing much has happened since yesterday. At the time of recording this video, the Bitcoin price is still finding short-term support along this golden pocket, sitting at around 29,500. And like I've been saying in recent videos here on the channel, if we do see a confirmed break back below 29,500, then we could head back down towards around 28,500, where our next massive level of support is sitting at. But otherwise, if Bitcoin continues this short-term bounce, our next level of resistance to pay attention to is coming into play at around $30,700 per Bitcoin. But in the meantime, while the Bitcoin price is in between support and resistance, obviously we're looking more neutral above anything else, like what we were looking like a couple weeks ago. And now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, starting off on the 6-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart. Technically speaking, we still possibly have this descending triangle pattern in its formation phase, unless we see the price of Ethereum bounce back up towards this line of resistance without retesting this $1,700 low. Because in that case, as of right now, we have clearly formed a higher low at the time of recording this video. And in that scenario where we might form something like that, then obviously we need to readjust this line of support, and it would no longer be a descending triangle pattern, and instead more of a symmetrical triangle pattern or a horizontal triangle pattern. But as of right now, $1,700 per Ethereum is one of our most important levels of support at the moment. And whether or not we do retest that support, either way, this line of resistance is still definitely an active line of resistance considering these multiple tests. And that is currently coming into play at around 1930 to 1940 per Ethereum. And just zooming out to take a quick look at the daily Ethereum chart, specifically this bullish divergence that I've been talking about over the past few days. And once again, as I've mentioned over the past couple of days, we're looking very similar at the moment to what we're looking like entering into the middle of March. Because looking back at February and March, that bullish divergence spanned over around 2 weeks or so. And the moment that bullish divergence confirmed, we saw a short-term bounce and then a pullback almost back down towards that second low. But we still ended up forming a slightly higher low and instead formed something like a W pattern, which is very similar to what we're seeing at the moment. But this W pattern has not been confirmed as of right now, because we'll need to break above this high just here, coming into play at just above $2,000 per Ethereum. And just giving you a quick update on the Ethereum short positions on the Bitfinex exchange here on the daily time frame. And today we've seen another lot of short positions close. And in fact, if I zoom all the way out to the weekly Ethereum chart, looking at the Ethereum price action on the weekly time frame once again, and looking at the Ethereum short positions on the Bitfinex exchange on that that same weekly time frame, you can see that right now, after the Ethereum whales on this exchange have closed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum short positions, these short positions are lower than what we saw in the middle of last year, and in fact, they're sitting at their lowest value we've seen since the end of 2019, entering into early 2020. And if I just place a horizontal line where they're sitting at right now, you can clearly see that the only other time throughout Ethereum's history and the history of this exchange in particular, where these Ethereum short positions were lower than where we're sitting at right now, that was after we already experienced a lot of bearish price action. So essentially, we saw a lot of traders on this exchange take profits from their short positions as they potentially saw risk of more upside price action, similar to what we're seeing right now, but on a much larger scale in terms of the drop-off. And what is really interesting is just after we saw this happen at the end of 2019, we saw a massive pump in the price of Ethereum by around 150% to the upside. And now I want to make it clear that I'm not saying we're just about to see another 150% pump, but what I am saying is these traders on this exchange, which historically speaking have been very accurate, have already taken a lot of profits on their short positions. Just in the last few weeks, they've closed hundreds of millions of dollars of shorts. And this potentially also means these traders trading with hundreds of millions of dollars see risk of more upside price action, which is why they could be closing so many Ethereum short positions at the moment to the lowest levels we've seen since the end of 2019, entering into early 2020 once again. And now taking a look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, and over the past one day, we have now confirmed this bullish divergence. Because as you can see here, we've clearly seen lower lows in the Ethereum versus Bitcoin price action in terms of the daily candle closes, and we've seen higher lows in the daily RSI, which means we could be due to see reduced bearish momentum, at least in the shorter term, for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which means Ethereum potentially over the next few days, maybe even over the next couple of weeks, could hold its weight against Bitcoin and possibly slightly outperform Bitcoin in the shorter term, but I do not expect a massive pump in the price of Ethereum against Bitcoin, because even though we have this bullish divergence active on the chart right now, we are still in a strong bearish trend for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And definitely make sure to check out one of these videos popping up right here on your screen if you want to know how to keep making money in crypto even if prices are going down. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.